Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 17. I think it's 17, yeah, episode 17 of the Single City Challenge as Venice in Civilization 5. Things are going, not particularly good, but not particularly bad either. I think we're holding on. I think we are in a position of a win here, and bear in mind this is... for those people who have, randomly joined this series at like episode 17 or whatever this is, that I am actually playing on King difficulty, so it's not the medium difficulty, it is the next one up. Now, normally on King difficulty, I do manage to win with relative ease, but this is the first time I've ever tried a single city challenge. It's also the first time I've actually ever tried a game as Venice as well, so a lot new going on for me here. We're going to go ahead and just crack on with the game. Now, I'm quite low down on the score. Out of the 8 civilizations, I am currently 6, but not too bad with anything else. Alexander is actually friendly with me now. I find that really strange considering the hostilities we have had in the past, but that's fine. Being denounced by the Shoshone. That's interesting. Is there any particular reason? Declaration of friendship with their enemies. Spies caught trying to steal... yeah, it's mainly because we've got differing ideologies, I suppose. That's fine, if you want to be like that. He's finished the Statue of Liberty. People aren't liking Mongolia particularly. Okay, so we probably won't be renewing our declaration of friendship with Mongolia in the future. It does appear to be annoying a few people. I am now starting to build up a little bit of a navy. This is the problem with having a single city. I do have a little bit of a weak army, but getting a bit of a navy is going to give me some protection. India's adopted autocracy. Now, India and Greece have been best buds throughout this game, and... Greece actually went for autocracy quite some time ago, so I pretty much called it that was going to happen. Got another policy. Alexander is plotting against me. Hardly a surprise. Now, for those of you who haven't been following, as far as the culture victory goes, we are actually now getting civil resistance. It's not technically all that bad because we have so much happiness. We can tank it out quite nicely. And I'm not going to swap from my. I'm not going to swap from order. It would be stupid to do so. With so much happiness, we'll just live through it. Yeah, we know about that. So we can get a new policy. Now, what we could do here is we could throw something into order. Or we could pick, like, commerce, potentially. Adopting commerce will boost gold output in your capital city by 25%. Not necessarily needed. Let's have a look in our ideology and see what we could get. So we could get a level 1 talent. We could get +2 happiness from monuments, not really needed. Gold cost of purchasing buildings reduced by 33% could actually be quite useful. Spies twice as likely to capture enemy spies attempting to steal technology. Hasn't happened to us for a while. Local happiness from every workshop, factory, solar, hydro, nuclear plant we don't really need. Local happiness, again, we don't need. Level 2. Anything that gives you +1 thing per city isn't all that great when you only have 1 city. New cities start with extra population is pointless because we can't have new cities. 34% tourism to other order civilizations. Now, that could be quite useful, but it is only going to be to other order civilizations. Factories increase the city's science output by 25%. That's going to be very useful. And also, +2 production per city and +1 production for every mine and quarry. Also very, very useful. I think we're actually going to go for... oh, I really don't know. Let's go for the science. Science is what we were aiming for. Let us go for the science. And let us go... right, we do have some money. We can build some more cargo routes. So let's go ahead and purchase ourselves another cargo ship. So, making full use of Greece's ability to have double the number of trade routes that anybody else can. And it's certainly something that I stalled with a little bit at the beginning of this playthrough. It did take me a while to get my trade routes up and running, but certainly been making up for it since. What I do find strange, though, is even though I keep getting more and more trade routes, my gold per turn isn't really going up all that much. But still, you can't really complain at over 500 gold per turn. Now, let's not forget, of course, we do still have a city-state that did flip over to Greece. We do need to try and get that back at some point. And we want to try and improve our culture and our tourism as much as possible, but there's relatively little that we can do at this point. Is there any other units that we can potentially upgrade? No, there isn't. That's fine. We'll leave everything as it is then. What unit needs orders? Another cargo ship. Okay, where were you trading to? I guess what we could do is trade with Greece. Now, normally I'd avoid it because, one, I don't really want to give him any additional money and make him any stronger. And secondly, if we end up going to war, it means I'm potentially going to lose a trade route. However, I'd much prefer not to go to war, and having a trade route or two with him may be enough to actually dissuade him from going to war with us. He still has an awful lot of culture output, or a lot of tourism output, and I have very little culture, and this is the biggest problem I've found with the single city. Normally, I focus quite heavily on culture because culture is useful whatever victory type you're going for. But when you only have one city, it's very, very difficult to get any decent amount of culture going. I still can't believe that these workers are still building that same trading post, actually. It feels like it's been about 100 turns now. I need to go and have a look and see what they're actually doing. We have now got a great artist. That's going to help with some things. Alexander in... Oh, what's this? Greek army with naval escorts is currently sailing towards your city of Venice to launch a surprise attack. Is he really? Okay, so let's get some things done. And those things being done include building submarines or buying submarines. Submarine gets an instant promotion. 25% combat bonus when attacking. Another 25% combat bonus when attacking. We are going to move this submarine around to this side because it will give us a bit better vision so we can see where things are coming in from. A unit needs orders. Okay, we don't need a golden age. We're going to create a great work. That will give us a little bit more tourism, though not a great amount at this point. I can see I'm going to have to spend a fair bit of money here to get... right, Geneva. How much have that... By 3. Okay, that is enough for us to flip you back onto our side then. That's fine. Okay, I guess there's not an awful lot here I can say other than come at me, Greece. Would have been nice if I'd have actually been able to get... I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to attack me anyway. If he wants to try and attack me by sea, he's really got to come into this little bay. Now, my biggest problem is I've got so many cargo routes all over the place. So many trade routes. He could quite easily decimate a lot of them, and that would hurt me considerably. But as far as actually attacking Venice... Venice is very well protected. I've got quite a few Gatling guns around. And he's going to find it almost impossible to land on my borders. Gold per turn from Pocatello for spices has ended. Declaration of friendship with Japan has ended. I think we do need to be careful who we are making declarations of friendship with at this point. That worker has finally finished the work on that trading post. So what he's going to go and do now is go up here and build another one. This submarine is also going to... Actually, you can... Yeah, you're better off at attacking units than you are cities. So you can come around and keep your eye on things from up here. It's a shame we aren't friendly enough with anyone to enter into a... We are friendly with Sweden.
Ah, välkommen.
Would you be willing...
Låt höra.
No. Is it under trade?
Låt höra.
If the player is attacked, the other will immediately and automatically declare war on his enemies. Lasts for 30 turns. Now, if either player declares war, the agreement is cancelled. Is it worth getting a defensive pact with Sweden? How big are Sweden's armies? They do have a fair few cities, and they are third. I'd sooner not go to war, but I can feel one coming. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be willing to do it. Would you be willing for a defensive pact? Yes, he will. Okay, so if Alexander does now go to war with me, he automatically goes to war with Sweden. However, it works both ways. If he goes to war with Sweden, I get dragged into that as well. First for spices, I'm happy to do that with you. So let's keep that going. So let's see if this causes Alexander to... Stupid camera. Let's see if this causes Alexander to change his mind. Our spies have uncovered that Alexander embarked an army of naval escorts to sneak attack your city of Venice. Well, I bet you wish your spies had have reported that to you before you just made a defensive pact agreement with me. But, oh well. Now, where's he coming from? I assume he's going to come from the east and come that way around. That would make the most sense. Whether or not he will do or not is a completely different thing. I do have a few privateers sailing around. Not that they're going to be much use, but they haven't really spotted anything yet. Of course, he could try and attack me from Rhodes and Halicarnassus. We now have atomic theory. One thing that I will say is if Alexander does attempt to attack me, I'm going to do my very best to make sure he loses Rhodes, Halicarnassus and Goshoot. And I might even trade that back to the Shoshone, even though they're not particularly friendly with me at the moment because they are of a different ideology. I think it might be well worth doing so. Can't upgrade that privateer yet. You guys are going to go ahead and build another trading post. So what are you doing now? You don't have any reachable areas because you are now trapped because of various closed borders and whatnot. That's fine then. Let's just go ahead and disband it because it'll save us a bit of money. Do we go ahead and build another trade route or do we get ourselves another battleship? I think we get ourselves another battleship at this point. Could get some ironclads. Probably should. You are going to get targeting against naval units and you're going to get targeting too. I'm going to take the other one that has such things and I'm going to bring you around to this side. We'll bring you forwards and put you in his place. So hopefully if Alexander does get an army towards me, I will be able to do a relatively decent amount of damage to him. He is starting to coup a few places now, which is a little bit annoying. He's managed to take Hanoi away from me. Not necessarily sure that he's going to be able to sustain that though. Did just get another new unit from Hanoi. We have an artillery. Now normally, I wouldn't bother that much with artillery. But saying that, if he does start attacking me with land units, being able to bombard them from the water isn't a bad idea. So I'm going to give you promotion for open terrain. I'm going to move you onto this tile, and I'm going to set you up so that if they do start trying to move any ships in, we can automatically start firing on them. Let's move this battleship forwards. Probably need to build another one as well, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Let's continue to move these submarines forward. So we've got a little bit of better vision for what might be coming. Well, if he has got an army coming our way, I certainly don't know where they are at this point. Cargo ship, you are going to continue to Delhi because why not? Do I use my money to build that extra cargo route? I probably should. So let's go ahead and get that final cargo ship in. He wants embassy. Let's go ahead and say yes. Again, that may put him off war. Part of me wants to go to war because it would be a good opportunity to try and take Greece down a peg or two. Yeah, he's still plotting against us. Plotting's fine. You know, the AI is technically always plotting against you. I'm plotting against the AI. I'm plotting against everybody because I want to win. So I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do. Plotting against somebody isn't the same as doing anything about it. Uranium, that's the point. We don't actually have any. Morocco's got some. Do we have any anywhere near our borders? No, that is quite bad that we don't have any at all. Certainly makes building nukes hard. Also makes building... so it's usually around tundra and stuff. Makes building nukes hard. It also makes building giant death robots hard as well. Morocco has some, but nobody else appears to. I haven't even seen any city-states that have any at this point. That's actually quite annoying. Speaking of city-states, Hanoi, how much is he in front by? 26. There you go. Come back. Unit needs orders. Okay, cargo ship, which we know about. Don't really want to take the risk of trading with Go Shoot anymore, so let's carry on trading to India. We do have that great engineer, but I think for the moment I'm going to save him. You're going to set up and just camp ready for an attack. Orville Wright. Well, we could do with some planes, but I think for the time being you're just going to sleep until we get another wonder that we could build. We are going to have Sydney Opera House coming up in 5 turns. So we could just go ahead and use him to insta-pop that, which I think is what I'll do. You might as well come up here. Still don't really see anything yet. Well, if he is attacking, he's taking a very long time moving his units in. He now wants open borders. Now, I'm not going to give him open borders because the problem with that... Greek coup in Hanoi, an annoying git. The problem with open borders is it will give him more pressure with his tourism against me, which I don't really want to be able to do. I think I'm going to have to move a spy into Hanoi if I don't already have one there. But we shall have a look shortly. Okay, Morocco has entered the modern era. So you're just going to stay there and keep your eye out for things. Spies. Where do we have you? We don't actually have one in Hanoi. Let's move this one from Delhi, who is actually helping with tourism. Let's move this one from Samarkand and move you to Hanoi. Cargo ship has finished its route. Of course it is. You can carry on trading with Mongolia like you were before. And let's go on to the next turn. Unit needs orders. Actually, before I do that, let's just have a quick look how things are going culture-wise. We're still getting civil resistance, although nobody is unhappy at the moment. Tourism-wise, it's still Morocco, but they are getting that plus 100% from getting gold on the national games. Not the international games. India's doing very, very well for tourism at the moment. My tourism isn't too bad. It's only 3 below India. What we should do as well now is now we've actually had the Great Artist pop. We should take that person out of the Artist Guild. Great Musician is the next one that's going to pop. So let's go and put one in the Musicians Guild to speed that up a little. This battleship is just going to sit out here. Oh, look, a Greek ship. That's very interesting. It's only a single ship, though, and it's only a frigate. If he wants to throw frigates at battleships, be my bloody guest. Ah, here we go. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's actually got a carrier there as well. Although the carrier is going to be fairly easy to sink. But that is definitely an army. And that is definitely coming to attack. Morocco has adopted freedom. Which is a pain because they've got high culture output as well, or a high tourism output. So he does have battleships. He does have carriers. Which is all rather annoying. So what I'm going to do is I am going to purchase... I'm actually going to purchase a bomber. Because the good thing about the bomber is I can just start bombing his units and there's not an awful lot you can do about it. We are going to give it... it's weird because it's not going to be bombing cities. So I'm going to give it bombardment against land units. Hopefully that still counts as units at sea. Because it doesn't have any option for anything against naval units, which is a little bit weird. Oh, it does there. Air targeting. Combat strength versus naval units. Or do we want to give it better operational range? I don't think it's going to need the range because it's going to be mainly defensive. So I think actually giving it better against naval units is going to be the best thing to do. This cargo ship, well, you're not going back to Athens because clearly that's not going to happen. So you are going to go to Florence, which is probably the safest thing we can do for now. What I might do if he declares war is just keep my cargo ships at home so that he can't pillage them. But that is going to be the end of this video. So it looks like the war is going to be next time, just in time for me to embargo him. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying the One City Challenge, and I'll see you next time for what will probably be quite an epic little battle. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.